The screen door slammed shut behind her, the sound a sharp punctuation to the end of another seemingly perfect evening. Julie, my wife, kissed me on the porch. The scent of perfume, something floral and expensive, a stark contrast to the simplicity of our life, lingered in the air long after she had driven away in her cherry-red convertible. It was a kiss that felt off. Not cold, not exactly, but lacking the usual warmth, the familiar depth that had been our whole world for 10 years. I chalked it up to stress. Work had been brutal on both of us. I'd spent the evening tending to our vegetable garden, the rhythmic scraping of the hoe a soothing counterpoint to the anxieties gnawing at me. The garden was our sanctuary, a small patch of green amidst the encroaching suburban sprawl, a testament to the life we'd built together. Or so I thought. The next morning, the sun sliced through the blinds, harsh and unforgiving. I made coffee, the aroma struggling to compete with a knot tightening in my stomach. I was already late for work. A construction site superintendent's life leaves little room for leisurely mornings. As I headed out, I noticed Julie's car still parked in the driveway. Unusual. She was usually already at the hospital by now, her dedication to her patients bordering on fanaticism. Then I saw it, tucked into the driver's side window, a small crumpled envelope. My blood ran cold. I knew with a sickening certainty what it was. It was a cheap cream-colored envelope, the kind you get from a cheap motel. My hands trembled as I unfolded it. A single hotel key. The name of the hotel was stamped on the back. The Crimson Rose. I knew that name. It wasn't a place we frequented. It was a sleazy motel on the other side of town, notorious for its discreet rooms. My gut twisted. The kiss on the porch, the late car, the cheap envelope, pieces clicked together with horrifying precision. Julie wasn't just stressed. She was having an affair. The next few hours were a blur of numb disbelief punctuated by furious phone calls and frantic internet searches. I found it. A booking under the name Edward Jameson. A name I didn't recognize. For a room at the Crimson Rose on the same date Julie had been out. Images flooded my mind. Julie, her smile, the warmth of her body next to mine in bed. All tainted. Corrupted. Rage, a roar of searing pain, consumed me. I called in sick to work, a flimsy excuse I barely registered. I needed time. Time to plan. Time to find this Edward Jameson and make him pay. My first step was the hospital. I subtly inquired about Julie's colleagues, using my connections to dig deeper. Edward Jameson. I repeated the name to anyone who would listen. It didn't take long. He was a doctor, a charming oncologist, apparently a rising star according to the whispers in the halls. Someone even mentioned his new expensive sports car. My fury intensified. He had everything. A promising career, looks, and now my wife. I found him on social media, a carefully curated image of success. A handsome man smiling confidently. Pictures of lavish dinners, luxury vacations. My blood boiled. He didn't deserve any of it. He stole something far more valuable than material possessions. My wife, my trust, the foundation of my life, the Crimson Rose. I knew I had to confront him there. He had checked out by now, but I still had a chance. I tracked him down to his home, a large, newly built house, a monument to his arrogance. His expensive car sat gleaming in the driveway. I parked mine a few houses down, the hammering of my heart echoing in my ears. This wasn't about hurting him physically, not primarily. It was about making sure he understood the weight of his actions, about stripping away his smug facade. I found him inside, his arrogance radiating off him like heat. He was on the phone, a smug smile playing on his lips. The moment he saw me, his face paled, the color draining from his cheeks like water from a cracked vase. "You?" he stammered, his carefully constructed composure crumbling before me. I didn't bother with pleasantries. I punched him hard, not once, not twice, but until he was a bruised, whimpering mess. His perfect image was gone, replaced by a bloody, broken man. I didn't stop until the anger, the raw pain, started to subside, replaced by a hollow ache. Then I turned and left. He would deal with the consequences of his actions. The next few days were a whirlwind of chaos. I confronted Julie. The initial denial, the tears, the pleading, none of it changed the sickening reality. Her betrayal was complete, absolute. The divorce was swift, brutal. She lost everything, her job, her reputation, the life she thought she had. Edward lost everything, too. His job, his friends, his reputation. The media frenzy, fueled by my connections in the city, painted a brutal portrait of their affair. The garden became my refuge. I spent hours tending to it, the soil a grounding force amidst the storm of my life. The plants, once symbolic of our shared life, now represented my resilience, my slow, painstaking rebuilding. I had lost something precious, but I would not be destroyed. Julie and Edward's downfall was far from subtle. It was a public spectacle, a cautionary tale played out in the tabloids and on the evening news. I made sure of that. Their lives were shattered. They lost everything they'd built, everything they had taken for granted. It was revenge in the simplistic sense. It wasn't about inflicting pain for pain's sake. It was about making sure they paid the price for what they did, to ensure their actions had lasting consequences. It was about rebuilding my life, brick by agonizing brick, and finding peace in the quiet strength of my own resolve. The kiss on the porch remained a bitter memory, a scar on the soul. But even scars fade with time, and I started to heal.